The dag, we back once again with the Real Nigga Podcast. It's the illustrious host, the realest nigga, 90%. I was gonna say the realest host, but I got contemporaries. I got Justin, you know what I'm saying? Definitely doing this thing on the podcast tip. Jazz Mar, of course. And Grandpa Joe too. I put him last, cause you know, uh, apparently we got beef. You know what I'm saying? I ain't heard it from the horse's mouth, but that's why I say it's apparent. I don't know. Motherfuckers quick to say shit, and but I hope he continues to be successful. You know what I'm saying? And whatever he chooses to do, and even people like Millennium and Romy. With 2GN Romy, that is. Shout out to everybody, all of my contemporaries. You know what I mean? Now, y'all know how 90 do it. I go into the news. Sorry if the wind blowing into the damn mic. I noticed that's been a common problem with my podcast. The wind is always blowing into the fucking mic. With iPhones, I noticed that it cancels that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know certain Joe Show podcast episodes when we had a fan, on 3, which is the highest, the shit blows. You couldn't tell, you couldn't hear the wind. The wind wouldn't hit up against the mic like it does on these whack ass phones. You know what I'm saying? I actually had a great podcast with Killer that can't get uploaded because of, you know, the wind blowing up against the mic. So I gotta hold the mic a certain way and all kind of different things. And some people say shit like, 90, why don't you just put the phone down? I need something in my hand when I do my podcast. It's just a me thing, my niggas. But anyway, there ain't no real news today as far as XTV, but I will say this. Spectrum on some other shit. Now, understand this with this internet cable company, whatever they is, I'm too mad to give you the description of what they do. All right. So when I first got Spectrum, you know what I'm saying? They was still Bright House and it was cool, I just wanted internet. They kept on, they was surprised. A lot of people, I guess, that work with the company was surprised. Like, oh, all you want is internet? And I'm paying way less than, the different shits that they was offering me, you know what I'm saying, as far as TV and internet. Like, I was paying $50, you know what I'm saying? Like $50 some change, some shit like that, you know. But that's just how it was at first, because they was offering me a TV deal and telling me all these different things I could get, you know what I mean? And I just kept on telling them I'm good, I just want internet. I'm not a TV person, I'm not a phone person really. Yeah, y'all niggas, look, I just do podcasts. I just got done doing, part of a project on my computer. So like, I'm the most basic nigga ever, dag. You know what I'm saying? I more so work. Like I don't really sit there. I may watch TV or not TV, but I may use the internet and watch certain things on there. But that's is about as far as seeing the latest in trends. You know what I'm saying? And what's happening. Even though I keep updated with what's going on, it's not to a point where I gotta catch this show. I gotta catch this. I gotta do. I'm not like that, dog. You know what I mean? TV is not very important to me. With that being said, I just started having problems, like maybe starting last year. I set my account up for my money to come out automatically, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes these motherfuckers don't be taking my shit. And I be owing $200 and all kind of different shit. You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck? Why didn't y'all take my shit? So only time I would know that the shit ain't coming out my account is when days like this happen. What happened? My internet is off. Yeah, yeah. My fucking internet is off. Saying that shit really pissed the nigga off. Prior to this, these niggas kept calling me. I'm at work. I'm doing all kind of different shit. These niggas kept calling me. Spectrum, that is. But each time they would call me, I was always at some. I think they even called me at my cousin's graduation. Like, you know what I mean? But finally, I had time to call them back. And you know what it was? They didn't tell me I owed anything. They ain't tell me a damn thing. They kept trying to offer me other shit. A long ass time it took me to get off the phone because they wouldn't stop telling me about, oh man, the package. Oh man, this package. Oh man, my package. I don't want to see your package. Fuck your package. You know what I'm saying? Just offering me all these different things. At no time did they say, look, you know what I'm saying, you gotta pay your bill because this is going on. They kept offering me shit. With them offering me all that, I'm like, okay, I don't want it. You know, finally I'm off the phone with them. Brings us to today. As I just mentioned, my internet off. Is it because I don't want y'all whack ass offers? Is that why y'all got my shit off? Now this wouldn't be a problem if my job wouldn't cut my hours so. You know what I'm saying? But it's what they do. I'm down to what, $80, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Until next week. Because a whole bunch of different things happened this paycheck. You know, I don't really want to go into it. But today is like, what, my first day where I got to do something for myself. You know what I'm saying? And I only had so much, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? And I enjoyed it. So, I don't know how much I owe these motherfuckers. I don't think their offices are open. But I'm going to call them tomorrow morning or tomorrow whenever I wake up and see what it is. Because there's some other shit. I was just watching Turk, the rapper from the Hot Boys, rant about Comcast. You know what I'm saying? And talk about all these different bullshits. He owed them $1,000. You know, or apparently that's what they're saying that he owe him. And he said it's an error on their end and all that. You know, but they still want him to pay and all kind of stuff. My left ear is hot. I think that means somebody talking shit about me. Fuck y'all too. But anyway. So, yeah, man. What's going on with that? So I gotta wait all the way to not this Thursday coming up, but next Thursday to pay their ass whatever the fuck I owe them. It's just a bunch of bullshit. I say this portion of 2017 has been the most misfortunate time period in my life thus far in this year. You know what I'm saying? Just a bunch of misfortunate shit has just been happening and plaguing me, you know. And I'm asking motherfuckers to pray for me, and maybe people praying against me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something going on where God is siding with the person that's saying, nah, man, curse him. You know, cause this has been one of them trying times, Dag. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, I'm confused, I'm lost. You know, like I said not too long ago, my ear is hot as hell. I don't know why, but I did read up that is some thing where people talking shit about you. You know, a myth. But yeah, man, my shit hot as hell. Shit. Now on to the podcast. Our guest tonight is a person that came to XTV under a show titled Killer Instinct. And it lasted a while. I guess it was competing with Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? He was good friends with Jax from that show, and he got a. Did you go with Orchard? Nah, man. Everybody thought we went together. Oh no, no, no. Actually, we did go together for a while. I dated her. Yeah, yeah. But you did that Killer Instinct for some years. CAW. You know what I mean? You was a mainstay on that shit. You tried to come to XTV, but it just wasn't happening. Just like good shit going on in my life, it's just not happening. TJ Combo, welcome to the Real Nigga Podcast. It's a pleasure to be on here, man. Definitely a pleasure. So, I guess we can talk about your early life and enter into the Killer Instinct show. How was early life prior to, you being an XTV star? Early life was good for the most part. Like every black family, I struggled but stayed in the church, and stayed positive throughout whatever, which is the same thing I can encourage uh, you to do. Just stay positive. I've been through those times. I've been through many bouts like this, but you just got to stay positive and don't let the devil win with his negative stands and doings. Truthfully. But that's pretty much how I grew up. I was more so close, cause I had we had different dads, me and my brother. I was more so close with my dad's side of the family. You know what I mean? My mom's side of the family was more very sensitive. You know what I mean? Just that drama. They were the drama, and my dad's side of the family was the, oh, you want something to eat, baby? They was that family. They was very much encouraging of whatever path I chose, throughout my life. And you know, high school just wasn't for me, and slowly I just started falling uh, on a downward path that eventually messed me up. A downward path? Woo! What you did, man? Who ass you beat? Well, I beat the shit out of my teacher. What? Yeah, uh, when you are going to a school, what I see people fail to talk about, when they talk about going into school, and maybe everybody doesn't have this struggle, but when you are at a school in the middle of the projects, that kind of school, dangerous minds type shit, a lot of times teachers will just treat you like dirt. You know what I mean? And I mean, people have touched on it, but not enough has been done. I mean, because some of these teachers still exist today. As a matter of fact, I met this particular teacher I'm about to talk about in the grocery store maybe some months ago. But this guy was an asshole, and there was this one point where he just would just he just didn't want to give me an A. Like, he just didn't. And like I said, I was more so close to my dad's side of the family, and I was always good in school. I was always great, and my grades stayed good. And so I'm writing and stuff like this, and he's the only teacher that would give me a B. It's like, oh, that didn't look like an A to me, that looked like an N. He was my English teacher, and he would just like do different little slick things like that. And just everything just had to be so perfect. And we are imperfect beings, so it's like, how the fuck can we be perfect? And finally I got upset and I beat his ass. He gave me an F. Oh damn, gave you an F, so you beat his ass. Sound good to me. Yeah, he gave me an F, and it was, what was it? I guess it was some type of essay on some U.S. Army something. This is way in 1970 something, but it was some type of Army troop he wanted us to do an essay on. I did my best to study. Like, I'm telling you, I stayed up nights. My auntie, who's still living, she'll tell you, like, I stood up nights, trying to make sure that, I knew what I was going to do. And he said because of a misspelling of 3 words, he took about, 10 points off. You know what I mean? And it was just like, it didn't add up. It didn't match. And you got to understand there was tension between me and this guy for quite some time. The other kids within the class, they would just, oh, he just a teacher, so they'll just take it. But I ain't never been no bitch, 90. Yeah, yeah, I see it in you, man. You got that look like, dog, you better not ask me a question I don't want to be fucking answering. You got that look. So I picked the desk up and I tore his ass up. Um, they took me to juvenile. I really messed him up. Like I messed his nose up. And he was out of school for a long time. He eventually came back with like a breathing machine and everything. I whooped his ass, you know. And I went to juvenile. That I did what, a good 2-3 months in there. I upset my whole family. They were just, I was that outcast, because they never expected me to do something like that. And they was always saying positive things about me, like, oh, TJ gonna be something special. And when I did that, you know it was a different light shined on me, shined on the family. And it was an embarrassment, because you got to understand, I ain't mentioned this, but like my dad's side of the family, they all have been very successful, like military and all those different things. So I looked like a fuck up doing something like that, and they didn't feel comfortable being around big, like people that were doing very well, and then they have me like the bad apple. And that one incident kind of changed their view of me. And I just got tired of the tension. I got tired of how people was looking at me in school, and just being loved, because at first I'm just the nerd in high school, and you go from that to like, oh, that nigga whoop your ass. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted my respect from this teacher who wouldn't give none of us respect, really. And I lost my mind and did what I did. And so just due to the negative criticisms and everything, shit, like most people in a bad situation, you just want to get away. So I dropped out of high school, 10th grade, left my house because I got tired of the tension there. And I didn't even tell my family I was leaving. I just grabbed all my shit and I left, and I was homeless and just trying to figure out life. And what eventually happened is I met up with some people, and I got involved with some street shit, truth be told. And that's just where my life led me. Damn, TJ, I knew you had a hard upbringing, but not that hard. So you out on the street, man. I mean, you say you got involved in street shit. Like what did you do though? What was it in particular that you did? Damn near everything. I was a stick up kid. I was a crip at one point, and different things like that. And I was doing all these different things, trying to find my way in life, because I was lost at this time. Like I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what to identify as. My family straight casted me out by bad vibes. So here I am trying to figure out, what's the next chapter. And yeah, I started to stick up, because I couldn't, when I first left my house, I knew what I was doing, but I was not going to beg. Like I wasn't going to be panhandling nobody. Hey, can I have some change? Teenager kicked out of high school, he needs some money. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to do that. I was going to be like, shit, I need some money, so let me stick this motherfucker up, And everything was hard though. Like getting a gun was hard. I'm not sure how it is in the hood now, but getting a gun was not that damn easy. You had to, like, I had to sneak up on niggas and straight choke them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I got my first gun. Just cause, like I said, I lived in a real rough hood. So if I would see somebody, I would kind of just like, watch them stick somebody up. You know what I'm saying? Or some shit like that. And I kind of trail behind them and, fight them. Thank God I ain't get killed. And, beat their ass until I get their gun. And then boom, that's my first gun, you know what I'm saying? And I would just be doing little shit like that, trying to like, you know, get my place in life. So when you got your first gun, was it there? Was it to defend yourself? Definitely, it was to defend myself away from crazy ass people, you know, and to just get what I thought I needed. And you know, I did what I had to do to get through in life, you know. Crazy ass shit. So you going through your little hardships. Um, you joined the Crips. What was that like? I mean, did you get jumped in? Yep, got jumped in. And this is probably the worst part of my life. But this felt like graduation. You know, since I didn't graduate, this is what I guess I gotta graduate to. I get jumped in, you know, and my life took a change for the worst. Um, we were set to rob this convenience store, and it was me and this guy named Fred Harris, another guy, Bill Banks. You know, all three of us. We set to rob this damn convenience store. We go in there, you know what I'm saying? All us armed. I'm scared as hell, you know, but this is something I feel like I gotta do. And I point my gun at the clerk, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm supposed to be the dude that's supposed to be like, give me your shit. And the words wouldn't even come out. Like, as I'm doing this, it's just like, get, get. You know what I mean? And one of them said, man, you better give me your, you know, they spoke for me. And I don't know what came over me, but somehow my finger pulled that trigger and I shot the guy. You know what I mean? And it was an accident. It truly was. Like I just was so afraid, and something took over my body. And you know, I shot him. But he didn't die. But he didn't die. But the police came. You know what I mean? And I was getting a little chubby around this time. Damn. So it was only so far my fat ass could run. And I tired my ass out. And I laid there, surrendered, you know. And I was a minor. And I was always going to court. You know what I mean? And they was trying to charge me as a minor. But since the guy didn't die, and you know, he knew me from around the neighborhood, and just all kind of different shit. Basically, I got let go. You know what I mean? I spent like maybe 2 years. No, I spent 2 years in jail. I get my life mixed up sometimes, you know. But yeah, spent 2 years in jail, and that's when I started to just train. You know what I mean? And because this guy pulled me aside, he said, "Man, you fat as hell," and he just started training me every day. This guy in the prison, and eventually, you know, I started training to become a boxer, and I would just do different things, you know, boxing and trying to, and that's what I thought my life was gonna be. I thought I was gonna be the next Mike Tyson, you know what I mean, or something like that. But life changed, and eventually, you know, Killer Instinct comes. So Killer Instinct comes, you know what I'm saying? This is around the Super Nintendo era, and this is the first time XTV West has something where we can, you know, stand out. I mean, because like prior to this, we was doing our sides thing, but nobody aside from me, like I was Flamingo, I looked like Chris Tucker, nigga, and I was a gangster. Hold on. So this was like a new era. I mean, they got the Donkey Kong shit going on. Yeah. They got all these different shows going on. And then boom, Killer Instinct comes. What's your thoughts going into this? Finally something. You know, I got the call because like I said, I was doing my boxing thing here and there. And I guess Billy Rojo, the guy who's found many XTV stars, he seen me, you know, just doing my thing, because I was always doing like little local boxing events and stuff. And I guess he seen me doing my thing, and he said, "Hey man, I got XTV going on, and I was down to do whatever kind of job I was, anything, because I was just working nickel and dime, you know what I'm saying, chump change for long ass fights, but any bread is good bread as long as you ain't making the wrong bread, you know what I mean, and that's just what I was on. So eventually, that's when he put me to Killer Instinct. I was making some pretty good money, and I made great friends, and we had a blast, and that's what it was at first. Those was the main shows, Donkey Kong and Killer Instinct, and we was kind of competing up against Mortal Kombat with Jax and them. Shout outs to Jax, because those was like, they were great. And Killer Instinct ain't really remembered, you know what I'm saying, like that. This is another thing that just kind of aired, whenever. But no moments stand out to you? Not really. I think Joe had made this point on one of them recordings. It was probably the Ellicott recording, and it was a great point. It's like, looking back at those days, you know what I'm saying, the 90s on Ellicott, it's like, it's no real moments that stand out. It's just really being a part of that vibe. You know what I mean? Being a part of, like, Sonic, that whole Crocker crew of people. I was about to say Crocker people. That sound like Crocker shit. But that whole, slew of people, like, you got Sonic, you got Donkey Kong, and you got Killer Instinct. You got all these different people. Just being, the vibe is what stands out, and not necessarily the moments. You know what I mean? I feel like TXG, XTV, these eras, we more so have moments. You know what I mean? We didn't really have moments back then. We just had a feel, and you had to be there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it is. I remember the names, of course, Orchid, Jago. I don't remember the skeleton. I think his name was Skeletor. That was like, give me back my eye patch combo. Yeah, that go a damn moment. Teat. He teeted. Him. Who else was there? Shit. Saberwolf. You know what I mean? Yeah. And used to just have to fight these people in a tournament and all that. And I remember you used to pull a gat out, TJ. I was trying to look for it on the internet. You pulling the gun out. They trying to act like you never pulled the gun out on Killer Instinct. Yeah, man. I mean, because I gotta say this too. Killer Instinct is the most confusing thing I've ever been a part of in my career. Oh shit. I mean, next to CAW, which we gonna get on. But this shit just was so confusing, because like, it was like, you can do anything you want and you can't go to jail. And I mean, I grew up beating the shit out my teacher. Man, I shot the damn store clerk, all these different things. Now I'm put in a situation where it's okay to do that. It's just strange, and it's like some old alternate reality. It's just the Mandela effect. But what did I step into? So that's just what it was. And I would pull my gun out every now and then if I felt like I was in that much of a deficit. I think this stupid ass fan wind is hitting the phone. I hope that shit don't fuck this up. Sorry, TJ. You good? But yeah, that's just what it was with that. And me and Orchid, man, shit, I just thought she was a badass white girl, man, and we started talking about a little bit of things here and there, and eventually, shit, I think when you around certain people for a while, you just, that's just who you with. You know what I mean? I'm on the road with you all the time. We talk all the time. We relate on a whole lot. It's like, what else is gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? And I remember fucking her to Romeo and Juliet. Damn. Yeah, by what's her name? Silky Fine or some shit. I remember fucking her to that song. Some people usually fuck to Marvin Gaye, the old school cliche songs. We fucked to that. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, damn. I just feel like, because I was trying to be different. I was trying to like be romantic to her, and I was like, Orchid, I don't know you for a long time. I don't know you for a long time now, and I just want to say, being with you, it's like Romeo and Juliet, hot sex on a platter just to get you wet. You's about to get into something you will never regret. And this is going to be the bomb. She was like, yeah, I got that song. That shit be jamming. I'm gonna play it right now. She played it, you know, and eventually, shit, we kissed, and we had sex, and that was my girl, man. Wow, man. So, how long did y'all relationship last? I mean, is it still going? Oh, it lasted till one time we had to fight on Killer Instinct. Ah, shit. Yeah, yeah. You know, like I said, man, Killer Instinct was one of the most confusing times in my life, uh, because you had to fight these people. You know what I mean? And this is one of the reasons I was glad it ended when it was over, cause like, how can you make friendships on the road with these same people you are fighting? You know what I mean? We ain't wrestling or like nothing like that, nigga. We fighting every day, and shit. I eventually got Orchid pregnant, and she became the mother of my son. JT combo, JT combo. Well, what did JT stand for? Jerome Thomas. Yeah, just I was drunk when I came up with his name. But anyway, so you was dyslexic when you came up with this. Nah, but we had to fight one time, in one of the mini Killer Instinct tournaments, and I punched her, and I pulled the gun on her. Damn! What? Oh shit! Yeah, it was, man. I still had a young mentality at this time, but it started to be jealousy and thoughts of infidelity. Even though we was on the road with each other all the time, we just used to just wonder certain shit. Because I remember one time, a boy come over there. She beat Saberwolf, and a boy named Alex come over there. Alex Hogan, he come over there. And she pulled her titties out and showed this little boy her titties. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is you doing? Like she just beat Saberwolf, say ah. And then she beat him and just flashed her titties. And I'm like, what is you doing? And I guess I got so enraged where we had to fight in one of the tournaments. And I pulled my gun out and I said, bitch. Sorry. Damn, this nigga laughing about that shit. And I blasted her ass, man. You know what I mean? Jago was like, "Come down, combo. Come down, combo. Hiya." And I was lost, man. Full Gore and them had to break it up. But I told her, like, don't do no shit like that. That's a little boy. And I was trying to be pro this and all this politically correct type of stuff. But it wasn't the right thing to do at the time. Insane combo, insane, man. So eventually Super Nintendo era wears out, and we jump into the Nintendo 64. Now this was an era that was of course cut short due to the incident, but Killer Instinct Gold comes out of this, and to me, I think that this is when that show reached the pinnacle of its success. It had to. We had more characters, and there was a lot more interaction going on with the show. And I think it was just a lot bigger and better. You know what I mean? It was done on a 64-bit as opposed to just a 16. And we got a lot of critical praise dealing with Maya. You know what I'm saying? Lale, or whatever she used to say. And Orchid was just turned up. She was a big favorite around that time. And we would have a lot of fun being around all these different people. And but like I said, Killer Instinct had to end. Me and Orchid was having various problems, and stuff like that. We would fight every day on Killer Instinct. It'll be time for the tournament. Excuse me. Before the tournament could even start, you know what I'm saying? Here we go, arguing in the street about the baby diapers, and I'm, punching her and shit. She hitting me with them little stick things, and then beating my ass and showing her titties, you know. So that's just what that was. Crazy shit, Dag. So there was a off period for you guys. I think Killer Instinct came back a little bit, and then there was a bit of a, it was no Killer Instinct type of thing. That's cause look, when the Super Nintendo era came, when it was brought up, there was different shows. There was Mario, there was Pain's show going on, and like there was this whole flock of shows. So what do? You know what I mean? It's like something big got to happen out of all these different things. Like something has to be big and it's gonna stand out. What happened was the Pain got successful. Trunks and them, Donkey Kong, that was the most successful show. And when that became way too successful, it became bigger than SIDE, which was the major show. And when that became when that killed SIDE, the whole Diddy and Kong shit, when that killed SIDE, it killed everything else too. You know what I mean? Those was the main movies now. Action 1, Action 2. And Killer Instinct and shows like that was getting pushed aside because they were more so focused on Pain doing these different things and making these moves that he was making. You know what I mean? But it wasn't too bad for me. I got to kick it with Jax, and different things like that. We had our fun with what's her name? Sonya, you know. Shouts out to them kids. So surprised to see Jackie all grown up. But yeah. Now 2001 comes, and you return in '02, I should say. And at the 9/11, you take on Lex Express, and why the fuck you was always like, I like America. I like America. Well, I got passion confused with ignorance. You know what I mean? And I gotta say, that's been the thing with my whole career. I just was passionate, about American culture after the 9/11 shit. And I just would just be like, and I just used to just go out my way. And I also was drinking heavily around this time. So blame it on the alcohol, nigga. No, it's the truth though. I used to get so drunk and have different blackouts and say things that I truly didn't mean to say. But and just do things to people. Like, I do love America, you know what I mean? But I love certain things about America. I felt like when 9/11 happened, even though the USA had a very I guess togetherness type of thing for a very little while, but like there was tension, what I'm saying, amongst everybody, what I'm saying, like Muslims, blacks. Like, I remember because people didn't know who to trust, like, oh, this could happen again and it could be his fault, so everybody was like, confused and scared because nothing like that never happened, and you don't know that next motherfucker's thoughts. And so I felt like I had to be that voice by just saying I like America very loudly and proudly. And it was ignorant how I did it, but I hope y'all knowing that behind that is what sparked it. You know what I mean? And it made me look crazy. But my fights with Lex Express was fun. I mean, y'all would go out there and have classics, Dag, like you and him. Real great chemistry. And CAW. Like, this was a big match because you was a sides dude and he was a SIDE dude. Yeah, but we both was proud of America. You know, Lex Express, his whole gear was the American flag. You know what I mean? And that was me too. I had the American flag pants, and that was my get up. And so it's like when you got two passionate people that feel like when they fighting somebody, they fighting for America, then it's gonna be big. It's gonna be great. And we had classic matches. I noticed a lot of people kind of talk about CAW in a bit of a bad light, but I'm here to shine a more positive light on it. Even though, yeah, at times, it was biting ECW heavily, like with a whole lot of things going on. But you got things like me and Lex Express, like that was not ECW. You know what I mean? We were original with what we did. You know, CAW had a lot of biting from ECW, but but we also had a lot of things that we can't just look past on as like they trying to be like this, like Gex and Payne in that ladder match. People don't mention that, Broken Cross 2002, Payne and Gex in that crazy ass ladder match. You know what I'm saying? And Gex didn't even talk about that on his shoot. That was a big ass match. You know what I'm saying? And that closed Broken Cross 2002. But still though, going back to that match, Payne did jump through all them damn tables on the Gex. Yeah, so, I mean, fake ass New Jack though, you know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but also you got to take into account Gex was trying to be like Joel Gertner, but would Joel Gertner fight New Jack in a damn ladder match and have a classic that me and you able to talk about? Nah. And that's what we got to look at with this situation. But going back to me and Lex Express, we put on hella matches, and it just seemed like each time we would fight, it was a classic. Because you guys also fought on CAW when it returned, during the late 2002 era, and y'all even had classics then, man. And that's a time period in CAW where it became way too ridiculous. I forgot the word I really want to use for that time. What's the word? I don't know, man. It just became too much, you know. But Combo, you tried to stay relevant, and I guess to jump ahead, you kept trying to come to the main roster in NXTV. What was happening? I'm not gonna say drugs or alcohol was to blame, you know what I mean? Even though that's an easy thing for me to do, but I just didn't work out. I just didn't, you know. I mean, I would make myself build, give myself the gloves, give myself the TJ combo look, and I would always look good. But it just seemed like every time I would get in that ring, it just wasn't it. And I also attribute the fact that the Pain blew up and he was a boxer and he was so good that I, in a way, looked like a carbon copy. Even though that's not what I am, that's what it looked like, on surface. And I think even at one point I did have my head bald and everything, but it just wasn't it. And, I didn't deliver. Yeah, but I mean, why didn't you just try to do something else? I mean, no disrespect to you or nothing, like, because that's what I noticed with a lot of people. Like, if they don't work out athletically, we don't hear from them no more. I mean, it's more Factors Tags TV. Like, you can go on commentating, you know what I'm saying, do some backstage interviews or some shit. There's more ways to skin a cat. And, I guess since you one of them that just, I don't work out as an athlete, like, how come you just do something else? The thing is, though, 90, when you are an athlete, that's what you are. Like, I'm an athlete. You know what I mean? I don't see myself just talking about these other different guys that got their thing going on. Nah, I do this. So I don't feel comfortable just sitting there. I'm not that type of person that I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna talk about these guys fighting. That ain't me. That's never been me. I like to get in there. I like to mix it up and stuff like that. But so that's why that never worked out. I just stayed boxing, You know what I mean, and different things like that. And me and Orchid, we finally we had time to talk to each other, even though we ain't gonna ever be married or nothing like that. I still love her, and I've apologized. She's apologized. She was just trying to get heat and stuff like that. But that's just what happened when I took time off, from the whole getting in the ring and all that. I had to just make my life better. Now, during the process of all these different things, CAW, what else? The Killer Instinct. Did your family ever reach out and try to say, hey, you doing your thing now? Yeah, a lot of them reached out, and a lot of them told me they were proud of me. My aunties, my uncles, everybody, kind of welcomed me back in because they seen where I came from and seen what I was doing. They was proud of you for doing the same shit that you got in trouble for. Yeah, on a major scale though, and it was illegal, but it wasn't illegal. It was for entertainment sake. You know what I mean? And but they were proud of me that I did something different. And excuse me. Thanks to XTV, I'm able to have a Thanksgiving with my family. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So yeah. So Combo, you weren't on the reunion of CAW in '08 um, at all. Like, no, no, no. I was there. Oh yeah? Yeah, I gave a bear hug to this kid named Josh. Did I? Yeah, I bear hugged him, and enough oxygen didn't flow to the brain. As a result, he passed out, and he was passed out for a good while. People thought he was gonna die. They even stuck a feeding tube in him. Damn, why the hell you did that? I mean, again, 90, like I'm an athlete, and I wasn't on drugs. I wasn't drinking as heavy, around this time. But shit, when you miss doing what you always was doing, everything just come to you naturally. Muscle memory. You know, I came back to CAW and I got a match. You know what I'm saying? I'm too excited. And I'm just doing all these moves I used to do and everything just coming natural. You know how sometimes you take years off of doing something and when you come back you rusty as hell? It was the opposite for me. I came back to CAW and with not a lot to prove, but shit, I was back and I was feeling good and I was feeling better than ever, and I just decided to just bear hug this guy, you know what I mean, and not realizing he's way too skinny and didn't even realize he passed out, and I just held him and then I put him down and it was like dropping a big heavy ass toy. Damn. Yeah, it was like, damn, you okay? And I got sued. CAW got sued and all these different things. It's wild, TJ. And I mean, it was so bad that the next show I was not allowed to participate in because I fucked him up so bad, you know. And that's just how it goes sometimes, you know, in this XTV business. So eventually, CAW returns and you take on the pain, and CAW returns again for another incarnation, a brief time in 2013. And this is when we get a chance for XTV East Coast to call an action with us, and so they can get an idea of what CAW is. And you take on Pain, and what many people are saying, one of the matches of the night, one of the major matches. It's crazy because me and Payne his fault before, but for some reason, this was like meeting him the first time. Because when we first did our thing, we first fought back in the old CAW. It was like, okay, what's up? I'm Combo. Okay, let's go. And we fought, and that was it. But this time, it's 2013. He clean from drugs, You know what I mean? And this is like fighting a totally new person. Like seeing how big he is and he see how big I am. And we just went in there and it's CAW. But when you look at that match, even though yeah it is some wrestling moves being pulled off, excuse me, in a way it's a boxing match. Because at first it's just fists, you know what I mean? Haymakers and shit's being thrown. And this is one of my favorite matches in XTV. Like I know people probably gonna be like, oh, why? Cause it's the most recent. No, I mean the fact that we was able to be that much older, and to have that type of match, it was good, and that was a great time, and a great moment in my career. Now, here we are, man. The last part of the podcast where I ask you, what you got going on now, man? Nothing. Not a damn thing. I just try to teach the kids to, I try to make sure they don't go the route I went. It's very easy. When you don't really have a lot of great influences, people telling you what not to do, it's easy to fall into a trap. Even if you do got a positive upbringing, I ain't gonna just say that because, like, it's just too easy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, to give in to that type of negativity. And I just try to catch kids before they go enter into that road. And sometimes they don't listen, and as a result, they go down there. But I'm here to just do the right thing, and hopefully that wins. I'm definitely here to support Cassie Cage and you forgot her name, Jackie Briggs. I hope I said I hope I'm right. I was gonna say somebody else, but I I just support those girls doing what they gotta do, and eventually I may come to the roster. You heard it here, Dag. I mean, I might, like I said, pulling off that match with Pain, that was great, and who knows, I might even return, or have my son return in some type of way. But yeah. Well, there you have it, Doug. We did another one. Internet cut off. Niggas hating. Bitches hating. Yeah, right. Another real nigga podcast with 90% and TJ Combo knocking them out, nigga. Peace.